community race. We are running the Underground Undertaking flags, which is a tour of the Underground. I'm joined here in the booth tonight with Vitasia on comms, with Scars for doing the tracking, and Aaronlore doing the restreaming. How are you doing tonight, Vitasia?
Doing fantastic. Really excited for this flag set. It's an interesting theme in that we're trying to get everything done that can be done in the underworld. And it's a win game. I'm a big fan of win game. So we just have to get all these objectives done and no need to go up to the moon, I hope.
I think it was required on one of the seeds that we were running, with something on the moon. But yes, with only K-Main, K-Summon on, the moon will be haunted unless there is something in that K-value spot.
Absolutely. Not that there's no value that can be had on the moon. There is, one trap chest that is relatively easy that has quite a bit of experience if you need that. Worth mentioning, there's no siren, so going to be looking for any easy source of experience throughout this entire run. But other than that, in the character check, maybe a peek into that K value. We are just focusing on the underground today, and what better person to be our lead character into the underground than everyone's favorite engineer and underground skydiving enthusiast.
I thought he was our resident explosives expert.
Sometimes he combines those two hobbies at the same time.
Would you like to go skybombing today, Vitasia?
Oh my goodness. Yes, he taught us to love the fireball. Absolutely. So we have 4 wonderful members of the community who have volunteered to run the race live for us all. Sofnum, Plumeri Knight, Fiery Blizzard, and Oscar424. Of course, remember to give all the love to all of our runners. We wouldn't have a show if people didn't volunteer to be out in front of everyone racing. So thank you to all of you there. There's going to be more folks who are, of course, in the Monday night community race as well. As folks finish, we'll let whoever finished first here on stream. We'll start with that announcement, but there will be some other finishers here and there as we announce them.
Okay. So just to recap before we get going, the 8 objectives here are to defeat the boss of the Dwarf Castle and the Sealed Cave, contain Queen of Eblin, wake Yang up with the pan, forge the Legend Sword and the Adamant, and complete the 2 objectives in the tower.
Yeah, with K-Main and K-Summon being where all of our key items are going to be located, and all of our objectives effectively being locked, they're either summon spots or they're key item spots. With really the only one that's not is, forging the sword, where you get a great shot, presumably, but that's it. This should be pretty straightforward, all said. Everything's focused on the underworld. It'll be interesting to see how we prioritize things. If you get something like an Earth Crystal or a Baron Key, those are going to be interesting objectives, especially if you have a choice to do that or something in the underground. How long are you going to put something like that off?
Well, the old rule of thumb is do your objectives, do your freebies. If there's something underground, I might want to chase it and hope that maybe my route can be cut short.
Yep, that would certainly be nice. That makes the most logical sense, but this is Rando. Anything can happen in Rando.
Yes, logic takes a back seat to Rando in a Rando. It's not totally worthless, but it doesn't always help you win.
Other flags worth noting in this particular seed, it is no Fusoya, so no extra help from our wonderful Lunarian, and of course, Cecil and Edge are also in restricted locations, so they will not be available to help us early game. And we have a couple of old men here to start off with.
And we've got a hook, which is not the logical way underground, but does give you a free character check.
It does, and it's a gated shop as well. Now, we don't have access to sirens, but that doesn't mean that other J item goodies aren't going to be available around there as well.
Yeah, Force Magma only means the magma key is guaranteed to be somewhere on the overworld, and the hook router is not required. Doesn't mean the hook can't show up, though. Unlike the reverse situation, if you force the hook, the magma key is not showing up at all, anywhere you could get a hold of it before going underground. And our runners are doing a little divergence. We have a couple people going into Fabul, or the free key item with Edward. And today our bard is holding on to the Luca key, required.
Well, that's nice to see right out to the gate. Say, hey, there's one more thing that we would like to see. Meanwhile, Plumeria is immediately getting this hook, and I believe we're going to be doing a shop check over there. We also see Sofnum doing some looting available here in the Waterfall Cave.
Yep, Fiery Blizzard is giving us a look at the free treasury. Finds a rune ring, and not much else of use right now.
I tell you what, I really like this play from Plumeria Knight, focusing on, getting extra character, in the way the T Wildish flag is set up. It's more dense, in certain locations, and higher tier loot is going to be in certain locations. For example, here in Castle or in Cave Evelyn, it's going to be a little bit more dense and quite a bit better loot than some of these other locations. So I really, really like this play on Plumeria's side.
Yep, looks like they did a little bit of looting to get something to sell. We see Bacchus wines, hourglasses.
That's my dream shop right there. Early hourglasses, especially when you're staring down some easy trap chests that you can do. That sounds like a dream.
Yep, but meanwhile, that dream will be on hold while we check the free character down here. As looks like all three of our runners are launching the hovercraft pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, everyone was doing something a little bit different to check out something else before doing exactly what Plumeria is doing. I just like the prioritization. Oh, hello.
Well, it's a DKC and not required Mom Bomb.
One, I love that we're going to have access to early Cecil. Two, I love the fact that Mom Bomb is out of the pool, because Mom Bomb is an annoying boss, no matter where they are at.
Yeah, the thing about Mom Bomb is it has 9,000 extra HP no matter where it is. Now, granted, it'll blow up once you do the damage of the vanilla spot, but it still is a pain. And we find there's a Yang here on Mount Hobbs, facing off
Yang
against
always...
a different kind of bomb in Dr. Luge.
Young is an interesting character. I think he's less efficient in win game seeds, simply because he does not get his power from equipment. He gets his power from sheer levels. And one characteristic about the win game scenario and setup is you don't always get those levels. So Yang just does not get quite the efficiency and quite the power that you can see in some other games. So less excited to see him right now.
This is especially true on the Mom Spaghetti Club that you run.
You mean the club where we routinely have seeds that end in under 20 minutes? Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, Yang in that case is about the most useless character going.
I legitimately would rather have Edward than Yang in that particular flag set. Absolutely.
I would rather have Tala without any spells than Yang in that flag set.
Right, because at least you have blink and exit. Yeah, it makes it so much speedier.
Okay, so Plumeria did find the one trap chest here on the hook route, and is going to open all the other chests, it looks like.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Al Valenker for the kind comment there. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, just like you appreciate us.
Speaking of the loot that Plumeria got, we saw that a life staff and an arty bow are about the two big finds there, along with a crystal ring. Also a Zeus gauntlet.
Zeus gauntlet, a couple of strength rings. I am very excited for both Bacchus, getting Bacchus and a couple of hourglasses, looks like. So, yep. Looks fantastic. Looks like Sopnum.
Yeah, found an hourglass. Go ahead. Found an hourglass in those cheeky left chests in Antlion, which have value again. Let's see, Plumeria is going to grab his free item from the bedward. We'll be happy to find the Luca key.
Oh, that was a power shirt.
Yeah. Puts it on the Yang.
Okay.
I would think I would be putting that on Sid instead, but it's early game. It's okay.
Yeah, the interesting. I would also put it on the Sid, just because between that and the arty bow, he becomes very, very good. More to the point, I saw that Charm Claw equipped, and unless you're hitting a certain weakness, the Charm Claw actually reduces accuracy on Yang. So, as bad as he can be, unless you're hitting elemental weaknesses, the Charm Claw actually makes him hit less. So generally, not a good piece of equipment to have.
Yeah, we find an elements down here in the Antlion Cave. This is not a bad place to see it. And down it goes.
Yep, only about half the damage that needed to be done there. And hey, an adamant. All right.
All right, so Antlion Cave is required too.
We do see Fiery Blizzard doing something a little bit cheeky here, going up Mount Ordeals relatively early. Says, hey, I got a Cecil. I want him online now.
I mean, sit with an arty bow and a good arrow can carry you here. Especially against this. Plague is weak to arrows.
Well, it looks like Sid has a bit of an axe equipped, so he might just be able to take him out.
Well, if they all
maybe
not like that first one, maybe, but not a couple like that. Sorry, Tella, this is not D-Lunars. You can't use Toad strats. And
yeah, I'm going to reset out, yeah. Sopnum is opting to do Baron in for another character. Val is our starter. This is kind of a rough spot because Val has pretty good evasion in this first spot, and we're a little bit underleveled right now.
Yeah, it looks like the characters can't physically hit, so this is going to have to be a reset and come back later. Plumeria is also fighting this plague on Mount Ordeals. Does have Sid equipped with an arrow, so this should go a little better for him versus trying it with the axe. Plumeria is through, and Fiery tried to slow down by taking off the crystal ring. That didn't quite slow down Sid enough.
Still rocking that poison axe, knowing the weaknesses of your enemies. Hey, if it's flying, boomerangs, bow and arrows, even Kane's jumps will do a little bit extra damage there, I believe.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see that Antline has gotten lost. It was trying to find the moon. It somehow found the bridge here on Mount Ordeals. Just a reminder, never trust your GPS. Always get a map.
All right. Meanwhile, Sophnum's also on the plague fight. Well, Plumeria has gotten through it. CPU. This should be fairly straightforward with this particular party on Asuka's side.
Yeah, this isn't so much a dangerous fight. It's just simply a slow fight, considering that this got an axe. It's about 300 HP a shot. This could take about maybe 10 hits to get down the CPU.
Aaron Lord does make a good point. There is some built-in logic that the Valas cannot lock our intended route into the underworld. So we know that the Magma Key, which we know is our intended route, cannot be there.
Yeah, or bind anything that happens to be Linker. If there's an Earth Crystal, you know it's not in Zod either.
But there is a Baron Key. Okay.
Well, all roads lead to Baron this time around. And Cecil... Yeah. Cecil's demons today are Canadian Nope Noodle.
You know what? I'm perfectly fine with our Nope Noodle being here rather than someplace a little bit more disastrous.
Yeah, on a Sea Hero flag set, that might have been a bit of a challenge, but not so much here. Fabul Defense just has a Rune Axe, so no progression there. Looks like we are down to Baron Castle or Baron Inn or someplace leading out of those two.
All right, there's Fiery Blizzard getting through there. Sophnum is... Yeah, keeping in mind the party that we have, 2 of our 3 party members right at the moment, are heavily incentivized and powered up just by completing Mount Ordeals in both Tella and Cecil. So I do not blame anyone for saying, yep, that's exactly what we got to do.
Asuka's going to check out Cave Antlion for the required Adamant Rock, while Marion Knight is going to check out Castle Eplin and see if there's some goodies here for Cecil. Spoiler alert, there usually are.
It is max tier 7 for the loot. There's lots we've already seen a ribbon right there and a protect ring. So already worthwhile in just what we've done. And an extra Rune Axe if we didn't already grab one. Cecil, if you don't have anything better, a Rune Axe is a perfectly acceptable weapon for Cecil as well.
Yep, I've definitely rocked a Rune Axe on Cecil for a while before. And Plumeria finds our first trap chest.
And that crystal ring doing work for Plumeria Knight. Tella only taking 1 damage. And by the way, in that middle cast, stone is working fantastic.
It's not off slot stone, it's not possum, so
Meanwhile, Sophnum's through the antlion as Fiery Blizzard is finishing up the top of ordeals as well.
We saw a defense sword from Plumeria outside. That's also a very acceptable Cecil weapon. Heroin robe for Mage, not yet appearing in this party, but might. Black sword, too late. White spear, okay. Waiting for a cane, or an edge. Yes, we can also sell the white spear for a lot of money. Asuka pulls a glass helm from the Chocobo Forest south of Ordeals.
I really enjoy that spot as well. That's just seems like a lucky spot every single time.
Alright, Plumeria pulled a Blarg from that trap chest. We'll try to stone these ogres. Blatantly ripping off the Hobbit, and we'll get another reward from that.
3 for 3 for Plumeria Knight. Perfect targeting for the stone casts. Not always the case. That does have kind of a high miss chance. Middle slot helps, but it's not always guaranteed. But luck was on Plumeria's side this time. 3 for 3. Just another ninja shirt, so a little bit disappointed with the trap chest loot, but still lots of nice goodies there. Certainly Cecil's going to be online and ready to roll.
Ep is going to head over to Baron now because our answer seems to have to lie here, at least in some way. We'll get that Cecil online with the defense sword. And we've got Fiery Blizzard going through Evelyn Castle now for his goodies. Asuka is going through Mount Ordeals, and Softum has just gotten off of it. And Plumeria is going to start off with the inn.
Yep, we know that, I don't know if duplicates are even on, so this is a duplicate sit up here. But with this Val, we know one way or the other, this is not our answer into the underworld, but it's still a key item location, so something could be here. And hello, yeah. Magus Sisters.
Well, Sid is going to put on the Elven Bow, which has a strength against mages, and is going to use a Bacchus wine. This will go very fast.
It should go pretty fast. I mean, there was also a Rune Axe available, but Elven Bow does the same thing.
Yep, and it's something you can just leave on Sid anyways if you don't want to switch back. Sisters down. And just another bended spear.
Oh, and thank you, Aaronlore, our restreamer, for pointing out dupes are on. So we do have 2 Sids now. Double the engineers.
Normally, you're not going to want to take 2 Sids, though, because, I mean, the utility is kind of limited. It's like you need 1 chemist or 1 anchor. You don't typically want both. And we're not even anchoring for Z anyways.
Anyone in the community seen Elven Sorrow? He should know if we're getting duped Sids. He's #1 Sid fan.
Yes, there are pictures around somewhere of this.
Meanwhile, Sofnum is now checking out and clearing out all of these treasure chests as well in the Ebland Cave. Did Sofnum get... I thought Sofnum already got his Cecil.
Might have not looted, though, while he was down here.
Rybon, you and I are on the same page there. Interesting with the this doing the Staleman chest though. I do appreciate this one.
I try an off-slot stone, which fails. And Tello goes to sleep. Thanks, old man. But Sid gets through it. Just a Dragoon Helm.
And from the looks of it, I guess Sofnum did not get his Cecil. So this is going to be good news for Sofnum here.
Nice. Apparently Sofnum took the Yang, which is the extra character he has.
Mary Knight, meanwhile, cashing in the first one to cash in that Baron key. That is going to show us the pale dim is the sparkle that gifted us at the beginning of the seed. But it'll be interesting to see. We have that second character. There is also a summon check that some runners like to check. It's pretty early in the seed, but hey, that's a kind of a cheeky check right there as well.
We haven't really seen much in the way of free bosses yet, so it might be worth trying it. As I say this, of course, there's a somewhat free boss right here on the throne.
3 Dark Imps, certainly if we want to try a stone cast, we do. It's still off-center, so not going to get quite blessed with that center slot accuracy. Although Plumeria's had great luck up to this point in time.
Plumeria says, who
4
needs a
for
center
4.
slot? Apparently we're going to have a lot of statuary put in the museum after this seed's over with. Hey, there's a girl to use that Blarg with.
Yeah, that Bahamut now has a home.
Assuming it wasn't sold, but I don't think he would sell that.
Not pretty early. I mean, we don't have anything that we have a dire need for that we might sell it. So there comes a point in the seed, obviously, when you have done enough looting. You're like, between all the items I have and the items that I can sell, I should be done looting. We are not quite at that point. But Plumeria Knight obviously will have that Bahamut, and very happy to have Iridia. Extra firepower, and the key item is going to be the Magma Key, which makes a lot of sense. We were running out of locations in the overworld.
Yep. So not only did someone put the Magma Key in the trash can, but if you notice, the Elder of Mysidia was actually the one who turned herself to stone, blocking the wall. So the Elder's going to have a hard time releasing himself from petrification later.
I say about time that old man did something useful. I mean, he didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, he scolded Cecil, I guess, in the vanilla game. I mean, that's something, I suppose. You can get Rosa to do that, though.
I was going to say, scolding Cecil is not something that's special in Final Fantasy IV. I don't think there's a character that doesn't scold Cecil. A 4-year-old girl scolds Cecil.
I'm pretty sure Edward didn't manage to do this. Meanwhile, Mary's going to go underground with the Magma Key, first underground. And under the mantra of do your objectives, looks like he's stopping off at the Dwarf Castle first.
Getting Iridia fully equipped. Change Rod, Tiara, Black Robe, Rune Ring. Only thing that could make that better is the Stardust Rod. That Iridia is going to have so much power once she lives even once. Gets a little bit of experience here.
Yes, and seeing as she is way behind the party's median level, she will get a little bit of a sling here on these bosses. And we see it is a Yang in the background here. A little bit rude because that kick is going to take Rydia down.
Yeah, can't just sit on Cecil waiting for that swing. If you want Rydia to gain the experience, you kind of have to have a life queued up to get Rydia back up and then have Cecil swing, which can be tricky. I'm going to have Cecil cover, which isn't going to help with the kick.
Let's say he was trying to time it since Cecil was next up. Did get that off. No. Yeah, cover doesn't work once she goes down. That's a bit annoying.
That was pretty rude. That's some great board face AI right there.
Meanwhile, we have a blue robe up here. This could either be really, really good or really, really annoying. As our other blue robe party member comes on in and replaces Sid. And we have the alt gauntlet is here.
I actually really like this because you can... none of these enemies will be doing anything but physical attacks, and as soon as Rydia survives just one fight, she will then be in a weakened status where Cecil can cover her constantly.
Speaking of not surviving fights, Kane goes down for this one.
It's okay.
While Tomeria is fighting off this gauntlet, we've got Asuka going through the Baron Inn, Kyrie is going into the Baron Castle, and Soften has just gotten there. Asuka says, "You know what, Vale? You can stay there. I'm going to go into the castle instead."
Perfectly acceptable.
Now that, but in this case, it is actually the right play, so this is going to help.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about that particular spot. Like, it's not even good experience, right? You only get experience from the first one, and it's a relatively low-level fight. The second one, you don't even get that. Really, if you're willing to write off that particular key item location, there's no reason to do that particular spot.
Yep, and unless there's a key item there that's required, it doesn't really hurt you. And in this case, we know there isn't, so it's not going to hurt to fade it. Some seeds it might, but, you know, make your fades, to live with them, and hope it works out.
I will be interested to see if any of these other runners do check that Baron basement. You mentioned we haven't seen a whole lot of the free locations out there yet. And certainly, you know, even a cheeky like King Queen Ebland there, but there's lots of different things that can be at that spot that is absolutely doable by a party at this level.
Yeah, I mean, there's King Queen, there's the Water Hag is out there, there's both sets of guards are out there. Many other easy ones out there. Well, Soften and Fiery are both going to be getting into the Dark Imps fight around the same time. Asuka's not far behind. One of the Blizzards is trying to stone Tella in retribution. Not going to work, sorry.
Someone help me out here. Asuka was swinging with the Holy Sword.
She found a light sword in the waterway.
Okay, okay.
The Baron Sewers, that is.
I was like, where'd that holy sword come from? Okay,
it's not one of the holy swords. It's a weaker one.
It's great value holy sword. Okay, I got it.
I was gonna say this might be a Dollar Tree holy sword.
No, that's the legend. You know, before we add some seasonal to it and make it and spice it up.
Looks like let's see, Plumeria has got a twin harp from this dwarf castle. That's an interesting one. It's a long check. Do you do it now or do you fade it?
I'm gonna be doing at least my Fey March freebie. I might even, if I have an extra hourglass, I might even be doing this this warrior's chest for some extra levels. Because honestly, between Cecil, the equipment we have there, and powered up Rydia with Blarg, this Luca cave is not looking too bad. That might be my next check. But again, I'd want to do the warrior's chest for some extra levels, just for some insurance.
Absolutely, Plumeria is going to check out the Fey March freebie first. It is done looting, it seems like, other than maybe some trap chests. That's an Earth Crystal. Another interesting question of do you check it or not? It does give a treasury play, which might be useful on this flag set.
I think in this flag set, I still focus on do your objectives. You check these bosses down here and try it. You know, see if there's something that's doable down here. If not, I'd still think that the Luca Cave is absolutely doable, which again is an objective, and you focus on your objectives.
Alright, so Plumeria is healed up the Cecil. Try cover strats and whatever might be down here if it's doable. And drumroll please, the Fey March bosses tonight happen to be a wall and some flavor of Mylon.
Mylon, this might be very doable. It is. It is. Cover strats. Here we go. Mylon will only do physical attacks, and as long as Cecil is not zerked up, he will auto cover everyone else.
Yep, so this would be a good time to blink Cecil. It looks like Tella might be out of MP.
I'd use that elixir on Tella right now, because I think that is the best thing to do.
Okay, Cecil only took one from that particular shot, so maybe it's not going to be too bad.
Got Kane swinging as well. Oh, and also Rydia doesn't have any MP. Oops.
Use elixir on her. She can at least blarg.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Elixir. Use the elixir.
It looks like we're just going to let the two mages basically sit here. And Kane's going to do all the work with that white spear.
Hey, Asuka is my hero for checking this. And it's the Mist Dragon.
It's not bonus value because there's no key item behind the D-Mist today at Rydia's mom. Might still hold an item here, though. But it's going to be a bit punchy.
It'd be very punchy.
Rat tail on Plumeria's side.
Yeah, I like that rat tail. Probably can't do the... Yeah, can't quite do the evil wall.
Yeah, if we had an adamant armor, yes, because there is a ribbon in the inventory, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no
that's why I said if.
So, yeah. But even then, if you can keep Cecil alive to the point where that ribbon will prevent the crush mechanic, you then have a free win. So there is some gimmicks that we can do. It's just a matter of kind of setting it up.
Yeah, Red Tail becomes a tower key required. I think the next up is Tower of Babel at this point.
Yeah, you don't. I wouldn't even get fancy with it. That's all you got to do.
It was teased as if it was going to be stopping over at either the Twin Harp or the Tower of Zod, and then just went right on by.
Meanwhile, Fiery Blizzard is on the Alt Gauntlet fight. Sofnum looks like setting up for Sheila 1 here. Says, hey, there's another freebie that I can do. Didn't quite feel comfortable doing the other checks in the Fey March, which is perfectly fine. Check your freebies. That's not a bad idea.
Also, I don't know if he ever went into the Fabul Defense before. If he didn't, this would make sense, so to get 2 for 1. Plumeri is taking some trap chests here in the Tower of Babel. Wrong crystal. That's a crystal ring, not a crystal sword.
Yeah, you get the sense that Plumeria might be opening just a couple of the easy chests, hoping for a cheeky crystal sword, but otherwise is satisfied. Says, let's just roll.
Asuka heals up here in the basement of the Dwarf Castle. Plumeria is going to do the tower cannon check first. It is a Leviathan. And good thing he did heal up before this one started, otherwise Cecil would be basically the only one standing here at this point.
Doesn't take much of a hit, but call it good after that.
Yeah, the Dwarf Castle has Leviathan for that ready if you want a budget AoE attack. And Sofnum has taken out the CPU that was sitting at Fabul. So he hadn't done the defense check yet, so this is a 2 for 1 check for him.
Meanwhile, Fiery Blizzard is doing what I recommended earlier with the Luca key check.
Yep, we'll go out and save first. There is a Bahamut here at the top of the Tower of Babel. Not too threatening. Alright, Fiery has saved and is going to dive. Good thing about this Luca Cave is if you check the key item and it's a dud, you can just reset out and not even worry about the boss.
Sheila 1 was just a ninja star.
No, you got to finish it. Never mind. Yeah, as if I've made that same mistake before.
We all have. It's okay. All right, so we have Fiery Blizzard approaching the end of this Luca cave here. I'm going to be showing us what this key item is, as well as the boss. Meanwhile, Plumeri Knight finishing up this Bahamut fight here.
Now just a crystal on Fiery Blizzard sides. That's towards 10 items, but not any other value. Mary gets a sand ruby, so the key item chest is being emptied of all of the stuff that really has no value.
I mean, that seems like a good thing. We do have the Earth Crystal and the Twin Harp. As these other checks, end up with nothing, it seem to indicate that doing those other checks up in the overworld are going to have greater value.
Flumeri still does have a key item coming from the cannon room. If it's one of the key items, he'll be at 10. Softenham has remembered Bedward and gets the Luca key for that. It's Ashura down in the sealed cave, so not the worst with some rune axes.
Yeah, a couple rune axes, and everything is going to be fine. Not even hitting terribly hard right at the moment.
And it's a legend sword from the can room, so that'll finish off the forge. That Ashura did get off a Cure 4, so that's unfortunate. Treasury rate from Softenham. There's an Avenger. Anzo Steel, Zeus Gauntlet. Let's load for that edge we don't have. Area is done with the Ashura and is warping out. Maria is heading in.
Yeah, that was Avenger and Zeus were the two big ones. Everything else we'd seen elsewhere. We've seen another heroine robe, and we only really have need for one. That is, if Rydia is going to be hitting things and not blarging things.
That Avenger would be good to stick on that Kane, possibly, and give him something to do. Murray gets the news that this crystal is just going in the inventory to take up space. And we'll see the Ashura come out.
The nice thing is that this party certainly has multiple ways around this Asura. Between, if you want to set up Tella with Wall, fine. You could even just lifelock Asura with one of these rune axe wielding fellows.
And the lifelock is safe, but it's also a bit slower, so, I mean, I would probably just take Tella and bust out a wall and just get going, but, there's multiple ways to do this. And we see that in the Tower of Zot, we have the Kaipo guards sitting in the first spot.
Ew. This is, with the party and power that we have at this point in time, this is a very easy fight that we would like to have seen in a much more difficult location.
Well, we've seen all the locations, so we pretty much have to, unless for some reason Cave Value is required.
I mean, you never know. We do have access to King that no one has tried up to this point in time. We have the ability to clear out Super Cannon, Lower Babel, Dwarf Castle, Sealed Cave. So really, at this point, we are looking for the pan for a key item. That's it.
And we've seen the bosses in most of these locations, and I mean, really not a whole lot of things that are rude in these spots.
Absolutely. I think even the evil wall at Leviathan spot may be a bit punchy, but otherwise I think completely doable right at the moment.
Yeah, we have ribbons. I mean, Crush Phase is technically got an out to it. You just have to survive till then. And then it's free. And we see a Palom here in the tower. And Palom, the prankster, has tied up our ninja. Not sure how that happened.
Stop. He used the stop spell. Only explanation.
That seems like something Edge would fall to. Ooh, Softem says goodbye to Rydia in this case for Palom. And we'll say goodbye to Yang, and didn't take the equipment, it looks like.
Well, it looks like we have all the starting equipment, so we have just about all the good stuff.
There was a power shirt on that dismissed Yang, unfortunately.
Oh, well, oops. Yeah, so the power shirt, and then, Rydia with Bahamut for an underleveled Palom as well. Like, we're not trying to set up for Z right at the moment. We don't have to do Z. In fact, we're almost done with the game.
I mean, in this case, Palom is going to take several bosses to get online, even just to Quake. Fiery is taking on this evil wall. Cecil goes down. That's not good.
I think the person who is best equipped to handle that evil wall right now is going to be Asuka, because of that glass hat that she randomly pulled out of the Chocobo Forest. I think that's the only glass hat we've seen.
I don't know otherwise, unless Chad has seen one elsewhere. Tamari has also doubled back to the Fabul defense. Being told there wasn't a glass hat in the treasury somewhere. And CPU is no problem for Plumeria. Optimus through the Tower of Zot.
Oh my, this evil wall is really starting to turn up the heat here.
And it's just Artibos from the Tower of Zots. That's a blank. Sheila 1's a blank. That means I think we're going to have to go do this Twin Harp, and progression must lie through here. I'll dance with the chocobos.
Looks like Fiery Blizzard is doing everything they can. Really get real close to this crush phase, at which point Cecil can just kind of zerk up. I think the ribbon is still on, but getting to that survival phase. Yep, there is crush mode.
At this point, Cecil is going to use a Bacchus Wine because there is no more need to cover. Meanwhile, we're going to let you listen to the lovely rendition of music from DJ Spoony B, and we'll see you on the other side. Well, due to a rude interruption by a blarg, that music came to an early end.
Pretty. I didn't recognize it, but still pretty.
And there is just a package here, so nothing behind the Twin Harp.
I think that means that it absolutely must be in Barren Basement, or oh no, this is even worse. Because I think from a logic perspective, we still have to have access to the moon. We haven't seen Darkness Crystal yet. I think Darkness Crystal is in Barren Basement, and then our last pan item will in fact be in Cave Bahamut.
It could be the pan in the basement, then leading into something from Sheila 2, or from himself.
Oh, okay, yeah, that okay, you're right. Yeah, Sheila 2 could have the crystal, but let me have my dream.
Their dream is their nightmare.
That's why I'm on this side of the microphone and not playing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The Barren Basement is the only game check we haven't seen checked yet, so it's not bonus, but it has value.
Absolutely. And only one of our runners, only Oscar424, has even checked it, knows what is there, and said, nah, I'm good. Didn't have to reset out of that one. Do not blame anyone for resetting out of that one. That was available quite early, but any physical attackers there do hit quite hard.
Yes, although D-Miss does give you a bit of a break in the sense after 3 hits, it will miss up. So with Party of 5, you can pretty much just life up anybody who drops. Alright, so Plumeria Knight's doing the Tower of Zot is going to be disappointed to find out that unfortunately Harp and the Earth Crystal were both zonks tonight. And very time-consuming zonks at that.
Well, and I think just about everyone's going to end up doing them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that D-Miss in the basement is kind of rude and annoying. And to be honest,
it's more that it's out of the way, really.
It's also like you sometimes forget about. It's like, because you don't want to do it sometimes right when you're doing the top part of Baron. And it's just sort of like, oh yeah, that.
It's funny, like if you get the Baron key late, it's easy to think, oh, the Baron key, that is 2 locations, one in the basement, one in the regular throne. But if you do the Baron check early, and we did, most of our runners did it around the 20-minute mark or so. Just from a runner's route perspective, you can do the regular throne room usually pretty easy around that time frame. Although dipping down into the basement is generally a risk, and we only saw one runner even check that. So it would not surprise me if most of our runners have just completely forgotten about it and said, if that's the key, then I'm going to lose this race. And everyone has made that same kind of gambit.
It's one of those times the King's Gambit is what you want to actually take, but, we're going to rando. Who knows? Alright, Plumeria is through the Odin at the top of Zot, and is going to get the bad news. This is just a nice arrow for the Sid that he's got on the floor. Oscar looks like is going back for that D-Mist.
No, Plumeria Knight certainly is. It says, well, I've done just about everything else.
It hasn't done the, I think, the King spot yet, but other than that, I think he's got everything else. And we,
yeah, we do know where just about everything is. I'm going to go out on a limb, and this is either the Pan or the Darkness Crystal, and the Darkness Crystal then has the Pan up in Cave Bahamut.
which should then make the Pan have to hold, I guess, the Pink Tail? Oh, we've seen that too. Looks like the Spoon's the last thing left.
Yep, it would be the Spoon.
So this is either Darkness into Pan or Pan into Darkness, one of the two.
Either way, we know this is the key to everything right now.
It's time to do the thing where we blarg a cloud.
I certainly try to blarg a cloud anyway.
The defense budget is high enough. We can just blarg anything.
Of course, we have some dragon on dragon violence. Pokemon tells me that's their weakness.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you shoot an arrow into the cloud, it will counterattack with a very weak cold mist. Alright, Plumeria is through first. And here's a pan.
Excellent. So we are now in go mode from Plumeria Knight's perspective. Plumeria still needs to defeat the king, but otherwise has Plumeria done the tower yet either?
The check says he has.
Okay, has done the tower, just hasn't turned in the but Adamant Rock, where's Adamant Rock?
It was Antline, I think.
Has Plumeria Knight not done the Antlion Cave yet?
It's possible it was Fade. He did Fade Fabul Defense pretty late. Alright, but it is going to turn in this pan. And let's see, is this going to be our Darkness Crystal, or is this going to be something else? It is the Darkness Crystal. Let's see, where is Plumeria off to now? Okay, he's going to return the pan.
Makes sense.
I think all this can give is the spoon.
Right. Which can also be up on the moon. Just because. So it's either the spoon or a Zonk item.
It is a pink tail.
No! Plumeria, it was just Wake Young with the pan. Okay.
Yeah, the objective is already complete. He did not do the Antlion Cave, which is kind of surprising he would fade this before... fade this instead of doing it first before either the Twin Harp or the Tower of Zot.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising, but I think, if you've committed to an Antlion Fade, I think you have to respect the early commitment to it. Just saying, if something key is there, then I will have lost the race.
Yep, Asuka gets that pink tail, which on this flag says just simply, I think, a tier 7 or 8 weapon?
Yeah, I think it's tier 7.
And Plumeria finds the Adamant Rock.
Here's the deal. Plumerian Knight needs to go down, turn in the Forge, and defeat the king, the evil wall at the king's spot. Fiery Blizzard, meanwhile, just has to defeat this Demist and then hit a monk over the head with a pan. That's it. It is a race to the finish between Plumerian Knight and Fiery Blizzard, both with different go modes here.
Oh, there is a nice Stardust rod here at the shop, but meanwhile, Sunrise. All right, and it is back off to the Fey March.
Meanwhile, Asuka and Sophnum both making consistent progress. Looks like Asuka is on her way to do Luca King. Sophnum finishing up the tower.
All right, Fiery is through that D-Mist.
Oh, and it's going to come down to the wire. This is going to come down to the wire. Fiery Blizzard versus Plumerian Knight. Neck and neck. All Fiery has to do is fly down, bonk a monk. However, not necessarily an easy fight set forth here. Getting Cecil fully decked out and equipped. Everyone else is going to be at 1 HP. Trying to set it up to where Cecil can cover and survive with everyone, dealing as much damage as you can until that crush phase. But all Fiery has to do is fly and bonk a monk. This is going to be very, very close.
If there are no missiles in the air, but airship can send it underground, so this has to loop through a little bit of the stealth cave, and that's going to be it. Young has been bonked. And that's GG for Fiery Blizzard.
GG Fiery does end up finishing first on Restream. Does come in second place, however, within the community race.
Yes, Judge Joe had finished a little bit earlier with a time of 107.11, and Fiery Blizzard was at 109.14.
Either way, GG's to Fiery Blizzard for a fantastic race. Plumeria will be finishing up here shortly, but let's see if Fiery is available for a quick chat here.
While we're waiting on that, Asuka is just finishing off this Ashura down here. The sealed cave, and Plumeria is almost done with the Siva wall. And we are joined by Fiery Blizzard. GG.
Hey guys.
So, how you feeling? You know, this seed certainly had some bait that was out there. Everything really available in the underworld, except for just a couple of the spots. That barren basement, I think, threw a lot of folks off.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I got done with the underground, I'm just like, half set up for Harp, and it's like, Baron Basement's gonna be faster, let me go do that. And then I apparently proved this seed that I can't either count for 18,000 or 20,000 damage. So that was interesting. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure this Ashura should have been dead like a minute earlier than it was. So. But no, I mean.
It did sneak off a Cure 4 in there somewhere, so it's like, whoops.
I was like, I got a Rune Axe, it's fine. And just kept on going. I'm like, should I have cast Wall? Nah. I'm surprised that Evelyn Castle did not give us a required Holy Sword. So, I was glad for it.
You got the man so early, you knew that you weren't going to find any Holy Sword. So, you should have just expected it.
I'll take the Bahamut, though. That Plague. That Plague fight just kept on getting me. It's like, how am I not getting this fail off? It was like, you remember that axes are awful accuracy weapons, even in center slot. It's just like, Sid, could you do like 12 more damage on one of those attempts? I was like, no, alright.
Yeah, I mean, there was an Artie bow early on to help out if you had it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess wanted to check in with any other thoughts about the flag set in general. It's kind of an interesting themed flag set going on here as we're, the back half of club season.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last Monday when I was on here. I think the only thing I would have wanted in this flag set that isn't on there is Sea Hero. But that's just my preference for hero flags when it's win game. But it's an interesting flag set just because it's do everything in the underground. And, I mean, there's only a couple things that are actually gated. Unfortunately, no K value required tonight as well. And no DKC showing up at King Spot, but the Evil Wall helps. Still nice.
It is true. We were nice. We gave you a ribbon to get around it.
Oh yeah, I mean, seeing that Evil Wall wasn't an issue as long as we have Cecil. So you have enough defense in the back row with a Crystal Ring, and eventually I moved that Dragoon armor and a ribbon. It's like, okay, well, he just gets to stay alive. But no, I apologize for skipping Harp. I did that because Harumph gave me cookies before this race. So,
well, it turned out both the Harp and the Tower of Zot were double zonk, so, it was a good play this time.
Well, somewhere, I guess that means the darkness was through the pan?
It was.
Okay. Hope it was good Harp, though. See, Asuka is about to figure out what Harp is.
I think you're not sure what it was, and we didn't get a peek at it from the first one. But
yeah, no, I had things set up for the Harp, just in case Baron Basement was nothing, and then turns out that's Japan. It's like, well, okay. I guess I'm not doing it. But yeah, I know PK is also here, so GG's PK.
Hey, GG. Good race.
Yeah, good race. I will go off myself. I want to thank you, Guerin and Vitasia, for commentating, or for restreaming, and Scarsor for tracking. And this is a great Harp song. Some Octopath Traveler, so really good soundtrack. But yeah, thanks again. See you guys later.
All right, good night.
And of course, we are joined on the other end.
With Lemuria Knight, who finished in 4th place, the time of 1:11:20. Just behind Cubsru, who was 3rd with 1 hour, 10 minutes, 7 seconds. GG.
Huh, thanks. That was a lot of work.
I think you went through every possible check you could have gone through except for the K value.
Yep. Except for Bahamut. I did it all.
Any thoughts on rating Atline as late as you did, especially taking the Harp and the Tower before that?
The longer things went, the more it felt like there was no way there was something there, because someone should have finished by now, but turned out that pan was also kind of well hidden, so kind of messed with me a little bit. But I figured it was better to fade Antlion just So I absolutely had to do it, but and then it turned out Pan was at the end of the route anyway for Harp to Zot to Baron, so just didn't quite work out, but that's okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah, Rando's gonna rando sometime.
Yep. I feel pretty good about how I played, though, otherwise.
My only other question was, I know you were hunting for some items towards the end. Was there a reason that the Evo was put off to the last?
It's just way faster if you're stronger. And basically my strategy was I'll lose to anyone who does this and there's an item behind it. And there's not an equally worse hidden item. But if I do this last and there's not an item behind it, my fight will be significantly faster. And I think that should help me out in the end.
As it turned out, there was not a key item behind it. There was an X-Cal behind it.
That was pretty useful, though. But
in this case, yes.
Sword is decent. but again, like that's the only fight you really need it for. But it would have helped, though.
Any thoughts on the flag set in general? I mean, how do you think this has gone so far?
Well, no Moon and no Z means... And no hook route either. And no boss hunts at all. So it's kind of like a mini flag set, and it's still... Today's seed kind of threw me a couple curveballs, but it's like a mini flag set. It's kind of neat. You get to focus on the beginning and the mid game instead of worrying about the end game.
Vitasia, any questions on your end? I think I've covered everything on my end that I was wanting to ask.
I guess the only other thing that I wanted to ask was your early opening. You prioritized doing the hook route absolutely first to check that character. Everyone else did something else. What's your thoughts on that when you get the early hook? Is that something that you just always end up prioritizing, or what's your thinking there?
Generally, yeah. Today it was, I wanted a restricted character. Edge or Cecil would have been great, and we got Cecil, so that was pretty good. And then that kind of informed the rest of my route. I wanted to see what other characters there were. It was just Yang and Sid, so I said, well, it's just Cecil then. And I took Sid up the mountain to get Cecil transformed, and then I went to Evelyn to see if I could get any good gear for him.
Yeah, it turns out Evelyn was not really all that available tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't great. We did get that defense sword, so that kind of carried through the rest of the seed. Good enough. And we got that Bahamut, which eventually Rydia got to use that.
Rydia is a very good star on O-Win seeds because she doesn't have to worry about the fact she just can't get to nuke that easy.
Exactly.
Any final thoughts, Lumeria?
No, I think that'll do it. Thanks a lot for the restream, and GG, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks for volunteering. GG and good night. So let's see. Meanwhile, we have had a 5th place finisher, Antidale, off stream, time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, 25 seconds. We have Oscar going up here to check out the moon. Give us a check on who's on the lunar dais, possibly, that shop, and what is sitting in value. And looks like hairdryer chest is going to be the first thing up.
Maybe still hunting for a holy sword, or potentially just a little bit more experience.
Yeah, in most cases for Enterprise, I mean, extra levels, more power will solve a lot of your problems. Not a wyvern on certain situations, but most other ones you can solve.
Meanwhile, it looks like Sofnum, finishing up on the way down the tower at this point in time, is pretty much done just about everything.
Yeah, it looks like it does have the pan, so... Oh, so that's not that. All right. It's a very tiny atom I was looking at. It's another crystal ring.
Oh, wanting to sneak some sirens here.
Yep, this works if there's a free spot in the inventory. Hopefully there is a free slot. There is, and there goes a siren. And there is another edge sitting up on this lunar dais. The second edge is definitely a possible thing. We are going to betray the traitor and send him back to the blue planet. Not sure how, since the Veil is still here, but don't worry about these things so much.
Look, he can jump. He can make it.
Let's see, Asuka is now going to give us a look at what is in cave value. I think by process of elimination, we know this kind of has to be the spoon. You have not seen Eddie Alcee to wield the spoon, but maybe Asuka will go Eddie hunting after this.
Yep, Asuka apparently did make promises to do something silly just for all of us on stream, and J Value, I think, qualifies as something silly.
I mean, it's still within logic. This could be something, so I mean... Find an octopus is up here. It doesn't get really all that unusual until it's 3 or 4 seeds in a row, then there might be questions. Okay, Asuka is microwaving some seafood here. This is not cool.
Oh, we're just seeing the weapon from Forge, and it is a Sunrise, which is a fantastic boomerang for Edge.
Yep, didn't really help out Plumeria and Fieries too much because they forged pretty much right at the end. Sofnum still has to do something in that Fey March. And also that D-Mist. And now the moon smells of fried squid.
In space. No one can smell you, Nuka fish.
They're in a cave. I think the odors stick around for a bit.
Softum gaining the levels right now. Still has to do the king and still searching for that pan. So we'll have to go down and do the demist yet.
We'll probably do the Fey March first and hope that the pan is there. We know it isn't, but, you know. Alaska is through that Octomam and should be rewarded with a spoon for the effort. And there it is. Just to check at what the boss says there. When you beat the boss, it says something about the value and K value. The Softum is going to go back to the Fey March and finish up down here. Alright, so Softum is going to go and set up for, I think, this evil wall.
Yep, at a higher level than anyone else who's completed this up to this point in time. Yeah, we're quite heavy-handed right here between the Edge and the Cecil. Now, yeah, Tella's going to take a punch right away, but that's fine.
Yeah, Tella wasn't contributing a whole lot of damage to this one anyways.
There's quite a bit of damage here with Palom playing the role of healer, throwing Cure 3s around.
Yeah, which is fine for Palom, since Palom doesn't... I don't think Palom's up to nuke yet, so... And the evil wall goes down. Alright, Softum gets through the evil wall. And just needs to find that pan now. He's got to be wondering, where is it?
Oh wow, yeah, Softum is not done. Very so lots of small little checks here and there that still need to be done, I guess.
Yep, so we'll find out this is just a Gungnir Spear. Very least, one good thing is does not have the darkness crystal, so can't get tempted by the moon. Alright, Magus Sisters went down. This is just a Gungnir Spear. Resets out.
All right, so Softum, all on the way. This is the right path.
Yep. We'll have Paladin Quake it because a flying cloud is somehow vulnerable to Quake. We won't question these things.
Is he vulnerable, or is he just takes normal damage?
I'm using vulnerable in the sense that it can be damaged by it.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, normally a cloud should not be damaged by an earthquake. But it is usually what the programmers forget because there's no way in the vanilla game you'd ever see a quake on this thing.
That's just lazy programming right there.
They would have called it efficient programming back in the day. And Asuka's through the House of Lower Babel. Pauses for a second, deciding where to go next.
Asuka still doesn't have the tower key.
Oh, where was that? That was early.
That was very early. That was Edward? No, Edward was Luca.
No, you lose Luca key. I think where this was.
That tail from Queen Spot. Okay.
Oh, it hasn't done the Queen yet, so it can't do that.
Hasn't done the King or the Queen. So wanted to save those together, so it has no choice but to go do those, and then we'll have to make a return trip.
Yes, this is why it's good to have a tracker. The commentators can't remember anything usually, especially not me.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, that I focus on the runners and then let the trackers be my memory for me.
Turns out there is a Rosa in bed.
thought long and hard about that, Rosa. Said, I don't really have a white mage. But
Our restreamer is wondering how Dathis got a hold of this seed. His influence is everywhere. Sorry.
Dathis is everywhere and nowhere at once. Even if you're quiet on a full moon night, you can smell just hints of vanilla in the air.
That's just Canada.
Oh, okay.
GG to Softenham, by the way. I can make fun of them because they're neighbors. They're right across the river.
They're just up the way as well. 8th place from the community for Softenham, so GG's.
Yep, our other finishers in the meantime, we had Microcorgs at 121.50 and Nerocod at 134.03. So GG to all. And I think Asuka might be deciding to... Okay, oops.
Okay.
Softenham is not going to join for an interview, which is fine. GG again. Thank you for allowing us to show you on Restream.
Sometimes you do have to use your imagination, Frith. Not gonna lie, you have to really concentrate on the notes of vanilla.
I mean, it does kind of blend with almost everything. I mean, you know. Yeah, some have less than others, but, you know. I mean, something needs to randomize. Something's going to turn vanilla usually somewhere.
It is the rare seed that does not have any vanilla in it.
Alright, so Asuka's going to set the team up. There's a whole bunch of fireworks going on outside, so sorry if that's coming through. Alright, we'll take on the Evil Wall first. Has a spoon, darts it for a whole bunch of damage. Is going to nuke this wall, because why not?
Yeah, this wall is being very punchy. Asuka does have quite a few levels, but the unfortunate thing is I think that Tella's agility is such that this wall is just making its ascent very, very quickly.
getting rid of all of Cecil's stuff. Looks like this is going to be a reset out.
And this evil wall fight is not easy. This is probably the most difficult fight of the entire seed, given its requirement. It is quite difficult, just because it is so punchy. There is really no way to make this an easy fight at all.
Well, I mean, we could make it a little easier if we put the Cecil in the back row. Nope, that edge is going to stay down.
I said stay down.
Now Sid gets taken out. And there goes Rydia. And Edge. And Evil Wall cheats and gets 2 turns at once.
Yeah, this is with Asuka's setup right now. You have to set up Cecil for that back row. Simply, back row glitch is turned on, so setting up the back row glitch is among the easiest glitches to set up in Free Enterprise when it is active. It is equip them with a ranged weapon, bow and arrows, the dwarf axe, if you're Edge, a boomerang, and then they have the back row glitch turned on. You can put them in the back row and even equip them with a regular weapon, and they're set for the rest of the game.
Hopefully use the blink on the Cecil. There we go. Did not matter. He went down anyways.
One shot Johnson on that. Oh my gosh, that was a high roll too. Aaron Lord, that is correct. Mylan Z at the Queen holds the rat tail, which holds the tower key, and the tower key has the legend for Forge. So that is the chain that Asuka needs to complete this seed. Everything else has been done except those spots.
Yeah, tell I'll try to cure, but the guy goes down beforehand. And up goes the Cecil. And Rydia.
Yeah, right now we're just playing Evil Wall Roulette, and it's not working. We need a better plan right now.
Slow the battle speed down a little bit more.
It's worth noting that turning down the battle speed really only slows everything down to allow you a little bit extra time in terms of menu navigation. It does not really provide you with extra turns. It just kind of helps with giving you some more time to navigate around.
And Evil Wall says nope to your Tella. Dia goes down. There is an elixir queued up on this Cecil. We'll see if it gets off. It will. Which is good because it lets Cecil survive another turn. Hey, we're down.
Ooh, we're through.
And Asuka will find the less objectionable Holy Sword.
Oh, Oscar, please save. Okay. It looked like she was setting up, be like, yeah, let's just go to Queen right now. It's like, hang on a second. Ten elixirs. 10 elixir purchase. That was magnificent. I've never seen that done.
Well, there's not a whole lot else to spend money on at this point in time. And while Asuka is doing that, we did have a 9th place finish come in with Joker Mage at 148.37 and Blues Eclipse in 10th at 149.58. GG.
Yep, GG's. That extra dart from an Excalibur, perfect timing there for Mylan Z.
Yeah, Mylan Z has a certain aversion to holy stuff. Can't imagine why. Oh, and it looks like Asuka actually did forfeit the race, so and will not be joining us for an interview. So it looks like that is it for tonight, actually.
Well, we got a little bit of an abrupt ending, but that's perfectly fine. It was a fantastic race from all of our runners. Make sure to give all 4 of them a follow here. Softnum, Plumeri, Night, Fiery Blizzard, and Oscar424. One last shout out to the entire team behind the scenes here. Aaron Lore for the restream. We have Scarcerer on tracking duties. And of course, my wonderful co-commentator, Garen. Always a pleasure working with you, man.
I'm your Vitasia. Just before we go tonight, some coming attractions. We do have the Pink Puff League doing their restream at Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We will also have, I believe, this Saturday at 3, isn't it, right? The is this the Spaghetti restream this week?
Yeah, this Saturday is Mom Spaghetti Club. At my club, it is generally a pretty quick affair. Of course, we have an async seed that's open up over on our Discord. Give us feel free to join us over on the Discord if this seed or any of the Final Fantasy IV free enterprise clubs interest you, we're always looking for new members. That would be fantastic. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to send everyone over to... I just had it pulled up here.
I think we're going to GDQ, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, GDQ. Looks like it is. We're going to do... Yeah, Femme Fatale's 2023 is heading on over at GDQ. Remember to represent us well as we head over there. Otherwise, my name's Atasia. Have a great night, everyone else, and we'll see you at the next race.
Good night, everyone.